Our first session is about the legal framework for artificial intelligence in healthcare diagnosis and treatment. This session will be taken by Dr. Veena Roshan. She is currently serving as an assistant professor of law, Maharashtra National Law University, Nagpur. She also heads the Center for Environmental Law at MNLU. Dr. Veena is an interdisciplinary expert in medical law and ethics with over 14 years of teaching and research experience, holding dual master's degree in human rights law and environmental law, and PhD for her research on the topic commercialization of human body and bodily material. Dr. Veena takes an interconnected approach towards the ethical, legal, and social domains in healthcare. She is also associated with the Department of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Kerala, in drafting policy documents relating to the certification of brainstem death. Dr. Veena is exceptionally qualified to lead impactful training program. Now I welcome Dr. Veena Roshan to take the session. Ma'am, now the stage is yours.
One thing, being law students, and I believe some are from the medical profession also, healthcare profession also. So what is the integration that you can see between law and medicine? Is there any relationship between these two things? That is the first question I want you to think about and ponder upon before we start the session. Is there any relationship between law and medicine? What is that? Yes? What is that relationship that you can identify between law and medicine? Sorry? Ethics. Ethics, I would say it is completely different branch. I'm just focusing on law and medicine as of now. What is that connecting factor that integrates law and medicine? Why lawyers need to know about a little bit about medicine? Why medical practitioners and healthcare professionals need to know about law? This is the simplest form of the question that I have been asking you. Rights and liabilities arising out of, I believe you are from medical side? No? Okay, right. So there is a relationship. This is the first point that I wish to, establish. There is a clear relationship between law and medicine. And that happens at various levels that we need to understand. So you might have heard, especially law students, you might have heard about these terms, health laws. Have you come across health laws? I believe you may have one paper also as titled health laws. Yes, health laws are there. Then you might have, come across medical laws. So is it one and the same, or there are two different subjects altogether, health laws, medical laws? Sometimes you may have healthcare management. That is yet another subject anyway. So have you come across medical jurisprudence? Medical jurisprudence, forensic medicine. Forensic medicine, you have forensic medicine as a paper, I believe. Right? So what is the connection between all these, and what are the differences between all these things? As far as I understand, we have this notion, whatever is medicine and law, it is medical jurisprudence, which is the first misnomer. We'll have to break it first. So medical law is different, medical jurisprudence is different. Medical law is that law that deals with the rights and liabilities, as rightly pointed out by sir, rights and liabilities pertaining to the medical practitioners. Right? Now, what is health law? What do you mean by health law? That is a larger peripheral. So, within the health law, you can see a small a small portion that is medical law. Medical law only deals with the relationship between the patients and the doctors and other healthcare professionals. Whereas health law includes a lot of other aspects also. Like public health is there, private health is there, right to health is there. So many things are coming, the community engagement where if there is, we saw during COVID times what happened. Community had also to be engaged in that. So that larger framework we call it as health law, out of which a small branch which deals with the relationship between doctors and patients, or rather healthcare providers and the patients, is medical law. So medical law is always associated with ethics also. So generally we say that medical law and ethics, that also comes into play. So this is how and again, I even introduce the term medical jurisprudence. Medical jurisprudence is that branch of law that is, medicine that is being used in a court of law. Okay, say for example, if there is any issues relating to autopsy or, any kind of medical examination which is required, all those things are dealt with by medical jurisprudence. So these are all different branches of newly emerging knowledge that we need to understand it very clearly. During, when we were students, law students, we never studied health laws, right? We never studied medical laws. So these are the recent subjects that are evolving, and we are trying to integrate all these things into the legal curriculum as well as medical curriculum, because both are very interconnected and interdependent, and we need to understand both from the side of the medical practitioners as well as from the side of the legal practitioners. So this is just an introduction that I would like to say. Now the topic which has been given to me is legal framework for AI in healthcare diagnosis and treatment. So we have to, from the title itself, we have to look into various aspects. One thing, legal framework. What is this legal framework that we are talking about? Do we have any legal framework in relation to artificial intelligence as of now? Whether artificial intelligence is regulated or not? No. It is not at all regulated. It is slightly regulated. It is loosely regulated. What is the status as of now? It is slightly regulated here and there. Especially when we come to India, it is not regulated, I would say. ICMR guidelines 2023, that is, again, good that you pointed out that topic. See, when you talk about medical law, again, it can be divided into two categories. One is that law relating to clinical practice. What do you mean by clinical practice? The day-to-day treatment that happens in a hospital. The relation between a doctor and the patient, that is what is known as clinical practice. What is the other branch then? Biomedical research. So what do you mean by biomedical research? So wherever human beings are involved, okay, in any kind of experiments or research, we call it as biomedical research. So this entire branch of medical law can be broadly classified into clinical practice on one side. Okay, that is medical treatment, surgeries, all of these things comes under clinical practice. On the other side, we have biomedical research. So these are two broad categories. So what you said is a correct answer, but that is pertaining only to the biomedical research. We'll come to that. I've put that also in my slides. Right. So these are the basic things that we need to understand. Yes, legal framework is, as of now, it's like, patchwork here and there. We don't have a kind of integrated approach towards artificial intelligence. I'm not talking about the healthcare alone. I'm talking about the artificial intelligence as it is. We don't have a clear-cut laws in this regard. I think Mini Ma'am was referring to something which I also would like to reiterate. Those people who belong to our generation or even seniors, okay, those who are from Cochin or Ernakulam, you might be remembering like 20-25 years ago when you travel through this Shanmugam Road or Banerjee Road, whatever road it is, all the billboards used to be of either Jayalakshmi, Shimati, Ramanika. Those days it used to be one Ramanika also. All of these used to be the billboards. Signboards and boards and advertisements. This used to be the advertisements that we could see 15, 20 or 25 years ago. Now, if you observe, you travel from Edapalli Junction to maybe Thrissur or somewhere, across the highway, what is the kind of billboard that you generally see? There are people from hospital management also. So what is the kind of advertisements that we see throughout? Renai Hospital, Aster Hospital, Rajagiri Hospital, Kinder Hospital, then which other hospital? Saimer Hospital. All these hospitals and the facilities that are giving to the or services that are being provided is the crux of these advertisements, right or wrong? So the kind of advertisement that we used to, be bothered about earlier, either it is Alukas or Ramanika or Jayalakshmi, that has gone now. Now we are bothered only about which hospital gives what service. Okay, robotic surgery, Rajagiri's, I saw last day, yesterday while I was coming, I was seeing this Rajagiri's advertisement, robotic surgery. Kinder has given a package for delivery throughout, right? The entire delivery package. So that means a lot of advertisements are happening in this particular area, right? So that means there is this idea or concept of corporate hospitals that are rising, which is a fact. Which is a fact. There is a lot of competition that is happening. There is a lot of investment that is flowing into the hospitals. And hospitals are also competing. Which hospital gives what services? Right? So that is a fact of today. We need to understand. And now we are bothered about the hospitals, reputation of the doctors, what services they provide, what degree they possess. Each and every aspect we check in the Google before we go to a hospital, or at least once we come out of the hospital, we make sure that, yes, we know this doctor is so and so. This doctor is good in this, isn't it? And the moment doctor asks some questions, or the moment doctor prescribes some medicine, what do? We listen everything, come out of the consulting chamber, then what we do? We Google it, whether the doctor is correct or not. We need to confirm that. Or we will pick up those words and we'll check with some of our friends who are doctors or somebody who is related to us who is a doctor. We don't have that kind of trust that used to be there before, isn't it? So it has become quite difficult for the hospitals and doctors also to strive. Understand? It's not that one side it is very easy, the other side it is very weak. It is not like that. Both the sides, yes, it has reached a point where the doctors have also, come across, because I interact with a lot of doctors also on day-to-day basis, so I know the problems that they face. So when we, this is one small thing that, this is just for the law students. So to my medical law students, I always tell this one point: you will have to look into the same problem from different perspectives. If the hospital administration is approaching you, you will have to give a response which favors them. If somebody from the doctors fraternity is approaching you, you will have to give a response according to them. If somebody from a patients group is approaching you, you will have to give the response or legal advice according to them or their needs. But the problem may be one and the same. Solution may differ in 3 ways from the administration, or even it can be state also. So it can be 4 ways. It can be from the patient's perspective, it can be from the medical practitioner's perspective, it can be from the hospital administration's perspective, or it can be from the state's perspective. When the law is one and the same, you will have to find different perspectives to the same problem in order to protect the interest of your client. So it's actually a very interesting subject to learn, this medical law and ethics. So let's come back. So legal framework, as I was telling, there is a lot of things that we need to understand before we jump into the AI and the technology and what technology has promised and is doing in the healthcare sector. Now, no, I'm still on the first slide. So AI, as I told you, we hear a lot about AI these days. Artificial intelligence is the talk of the town. I don't know how many of you have read the news that came maybe in the mid-July, where one robot committed suicide in South Korea. It was a huge news, if you could remember that. Because of the work pressure, because of the workload, one artificial intelligent run robot, which was assigned the duty of an officer in the municipal council in South Korea, it committed suicide, which was a big news, huge news. 2 days before, I was reading the news about the Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize is coming. They will declare the Nobel Prize in next 1 week. Now the question is, can we consider artificial intelligence also capable of receiving Nobel Prize? So the kind of, and many articles you might have come across by this time, wherein the first author may be AI, or the second author may be AI. So AI is writing the papers, that of course law students will be knowing it better. Right, so AI is revolutionizing the day-to-day lives of everyone in various ways, in multiple ways. Okay, so AI is something that has come to stay. That is one thing that we need to understand and, keep it in mind. We cannot say that, no, we are not. I still remember the older generation who was so against the mobile phones during once upon a time. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, our parents were so, irritated with the phones, especially the smartphones when they started, when we started using smartphones, they were so against that. They will say, in the morning onwards, you will sit and start, typing. Now what they are doing, all the retired hands, they have at least 50 groups. In the morning, they will send good morning to the family group, retired, their colleagues group. So this is what they are doing, right? So initially, they were so reluctant to accept that change, but there is no other option but to, go with the flow. Now, they have also accepted that. I've told my parents, especially my mother, please don't send any forwards to me. Because that is actually a menace, you see. So now they have started using it, and they know how to use the YouTube, they know how to use WhatsApp, and they get all kind of information and they keep on sharing it, right? So this is the same situation as I can see. Initially, when we started with AI, we were like, no, we are not going to use AI, or it is not required. Human intelligence is much better that way. But now we see slowly and gradually, AI is aiding us, AI is helping us. Only thing is that we need to welcome it. And we need to have a clear understanding what is good and what is not good. Okay, a few weeks ago, I was going through one advertisement. Okay, it was from a hospital in USA where the radiologist, the post that was released was for a radiologist. And in the conditions mentioned, they have also mentioned one thing, a radiologist who is, open to change and accept the new changes that is happening in artificial intelligence will be given preference. So people lament over a lot of things like, once AI is there, our job will be lost. We won't be having any kind of work to do. It is not like that. Artificial intelligence is not going to replace human intelligence. Only thing artificial intelligence can do is to aid and support human intelligence. It can work only with the aid and support and supervision of human intelligence. This is one thing that should be very clear about it in the very beginning itself. So don't think that once artificial intelligence is there, doctors will not have any job. No, it is not like that. India is one country wherein I would say our doctor is to patient ratio is 1:1,000. 1:1,000. And that one, how we calculated, that includes allopathic medicine, that includes Ayush medicine doctors also. So Ayush, I believe all of you know, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Yoga, all of these things. So all these doctors together in India, if we take the statistics, it is one doctor is to 1,000 patients. And that is the average in India. I come from a city where the Asia's most thickly populated, in the sense, doctors, when you count the number of doctors, that is the most thickly populated city, Nagpur. Nagpur, there is one place called Dharampet. They call it as medical square. So all the doctors and hospitals are, in that particular area. So that means when you take it this way, then the average is 1 is to 1,000, which is 2 less when compared to other countries. Okay, so we don't have excess or surplus doctors. We need more and more doctors if we have to match with the developed countries. So artificial intelligence is not going to, throw away the doctors from the entire medical industry. That is not going to happen. Only thing that we need to understand is these doctors should be equipped to understand and adapt to the changes that are happening in the medical field. Now, yes, we can go to the. So this is the agenda that I've set for the session. I don't know how far I'll be able to complete. AI in healthcare, a lot of ethical considerations. We took the word ethics. We need to understand what is ethics and what is the role of ethics in healthcare as well as medical law. Patient safety and quality of care, accountability and liability. Very, very serious question, I would say. What is this accountability and liability when it comes to AI in healthcare? Who is accountable? Who is accountable here? Whether the manufacturer of that robot or whether the hospital that buys or procures that robot or whether the doctor who uses the robot. So who has the accountability? How the accountability and liability can be fixed is a very serious issue in this area. Then all the speakers before me were talking about privacy and confidentiality. So let me tell you one thing, though we have Justice, Puttaswamy versus Union of India, Dr. Simi may not be agreeing with me, but I would say that in this 21st century, in the century where we are living in the times where we are living in this digital era, the concept of privacy is a misnomer. There is nothing called privacy in this digital era. As long as you are carrying your mobile phones, as long as you are carrying your smartwatches, there is nothing called privacy that as we anticipate and think. Okay. Now let's talk about data privacy and all these things later. Then international legal framework. So what is the legal framework that we have as of now in relation to this particular point? Then what changes that you can see in the legal framework in India? And of course, we'll have to see the challenges and the way forward. Especially, I've already tried to mention that AI has come to stay. It is not going to run away anyway. It is going to be here in the society. So what is that we can do? How we can adapt to the changes that are happening as of now? So AI, it uses computers and technology to simulate intelligent behavior and critical thinking comparable to a human being. So this is a normal definition that you can find to the term artificial intelligence. Through the use of data or cognitive inputs, machine learning enables AI systems to automatically improve the algorithms. This is how they work. So it works completely on data. How much data you are feeding into the system, they function on those datas. Okay, it's not like they have a brain and they are thinking or nothing like that. Okay, so what they do is they have the data given, and from that data they derive at a conclusion, and they have a kind of ability to improve their algorithms by themselves, right? So what is the data that you are feeding? That is also very important. Okay. Now, AI systems offer information and expertise that can be used by people or other technologies. So it can be used either by people or it can be, imported to the other technologies for the other use of other technologies also. This is how AI works. On a general note, I'm telling this. Now, AI is getting better at carrying out human-like jobs efficiently, effectively, and affordably. This is one point we will have to understand. എല്ലാവരും ഓർക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ഒരു സിനിമ വന്നത് ആൻഡ്രോയിഡ് കുഞ്ഞപ്പൻ 2.0. All of you might have watched that movie also. What was it all about? Did you think about that movie after watching that? Though it was, taken in such a subtle way, but it has a lot of thought-provoking ideas that has been conveyed through that particular movie. എത്ര പേര് കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാ പടം? Android കുഞ്ഞപ്പൻ ഒരുവിധം എല്ലാവരും കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. Did you think about that? See, just imagine, though it is a kind of fictitious thing that has been telecasted, depicted as of now, but that is going to be a reality. That is going to be a reality. Okay. And Mama was telling that ini premikkan mathre baakiyullu AI. There are such AI with all kind of emotional intelligence that are fed into that, which is already in place. നമ്മൾ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്ന എന്താ? അത് മാത്രമേ ഈ AI സംസാരിക്കുള്ളൂ നമ്മുടെ അടുത്ത്. So girlfriends and boyfriends, you can choose from them. So what is that I need to hear from my partner? AI അത് തന്നെ പറയും. So we are happy. So we are happy to have AI partners also. So that is a reality that is happening also in China and all. They have tested it and they have, they are working on that a lot. Yes, please. Coming to our subject, AI in healthcare. So here the integration of AI into healthcare is revolutionizing certain things. നമ്മൾ ഈ എ ഐയും ഹെൽത്ത് കെയറും കൂടെ ഒന്നിച്ചു കൊണ്ടുവരുമ്പോൾ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് റെവല്യൂഷൻ ആണ് ഇവിടെ നടക്കുന്നത്. ഇൻ വാട്ട് ഓൾ ആസ്പെക്ട്സ്? വൺ, ഡയഗ്നോസിസ്. വാട്ട് യു മീൻ ബൈ ഡയഗ്നോസിസ്? പണ്ട് എക്സ്റേ എടുത്ത് ഇങ്ങനെ ലൈറ്റിൻ്റെ മുമ്പിൽ വെച്ച് നോക്കി ഡോക്ടർ നോക്കിയൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. ഇപ്പം അതൊക്കെ മാറി. ഓൾ കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ടെക്നോളജീസ് ഹാവ് കം ഇൻ ടു പ്ലേസ് വെയർ they themselves are giving suggestions. This is what is the problem. And the study says that it is much above the human intelligence in comparing data and finding out what exactly the problem is. Especially mammogram, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ക്യാൻസർ ഡിറ്റക്ഷൻ ഒക്കെ വളരെയധികം ക്ലിയർ കട്ടായിട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് AI കൊണ്ട്. Now treatment, of course, treatment plan. What treatment plan? These and these are the diagnosis. These and these are the symptoms. Everything is settled. Now what treatment is to be given? That is also being given by AI very easily. Now, patient management. Say for example, നമ്മളിപ്പോഴൊക്കെ എന്താ പറയുക, മരുന്ന് കഴിക്കാൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ അലാറം വെക്കും അല്ലേ? ചിലപ്പോൾ വെള്ളം കുടിക്കാനായിട്ട് ആപ്പിൽ ചെയ്യാറുണ്ടോ ആരെങ്കിലും? There are apps that reminds you that it is time that you drink water, right? So slowly and gradually you are getting all the alerts automatically. മരുന്ന് കഴിക്കാൻ സമയമായിട്ടുണ്ട്, ആ ടെസ്റ്റിനുള്ള സമയമുണ്ട്, പോളിയോ വാക്സിനേഷൻ കൊച്ചിന് കൊടുക്കാനുള്ള സമയമായിട്ടുണ്ട്, you get alerts, right? Everything is being informed to us. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ട്രീറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് എന്താണ്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് പേഷ്യൻറ്റിനെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, each and everything has been given by AI. Coming to the next part, AI can analyze large data sets. As I told you, entire thing is done on data. What data is being fed to the AI system? That is what gives you the result also here. So disease detection. So ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള conditions ആണെങ്കിൽ it is probably so and so. നമ്മൾ ഒരു ചെറിയ തലവേദന വന്നു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ we have this habit of searching in Google. അല്ലേ? എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു അസുഖം വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ശീലമുണ്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ വന്നു. സോ വി ട്രൈ സെർച്ചിങ് ഇൻ ഗൂഗിൾ ആൻഡ് വി ഈവൻ ഹാവ് ടു റീഡ് ഇത് മിക്കവാറും ട്യൂമർ ആയിരിക്കും. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ഹൗ വി depend a lot on the technology. Okay. So here disease detection can be made or simplified using AI. Personalized medicine. See, everybody's body is different. Everybody's physical conditions are different. So is the disease also. ഒരാൾക്ക് തന്നെ വരുന്ന അസുഖം വേറൊരാൾക്ക് വേറൊരു രീതിയിലായിരിക്കും. സോ ആ മരുന്ന് ഒരാളിൽ റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല മറ്റൊരാളിൽ റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് വാട്ട് വി കോൾ ഇറ്റ് ആസ് പേഴ്സണലൈസ്ഡ് മെഡിസിൻ. ഒരാൾക്ക് ഫലം കാണുന്ന മരുന്ന് മറ്റൊരാൾക്ക് അത് കാണുന്നില്ല. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾസോ വെരി AI is very efficient in handling that as well. Predictive analysis, very important. So you know that പല അസുഖങ്ങളും ഹെറിഡിറ്ററി ആയിട്ടുള്ളതെല്ലാം ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി അനലൈസ്ഡ് ഏർലിയർ. നമുക്ക് ആ ഒരു ജീൻ സീക്വൻസിങ്ങും കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി അനലൈസ്ഡ് മച്ച് ഏർലിയർ. യു മേ ബി നോയിങ് അബൌട്ട് ദി ഹോളിവുഡ് ആക്ട്രസസ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ. They have undergone this predictive analysis, screening, all these things, and they have taken all kind of precautionary measures also. Okay, അപ്പോൾ അത്തരത്തിലുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളും it will be very easy with the help of AI. Now, already I've mentioned this. So applications of AI in healthcare, diagnosis and screening, then we can go for therapeutics, drug discovery and development. This is also very important. Drug discovery. In a situation, what kind of drug is required in that situation? Okay, then how this drug can be developed. We saw this during COVID time. COVID എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് പെട്ടെന്ന് വന്നൊരു അസുഖം, നമുക്ക് ആർക്കും അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ഒരു ധാരണ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. So we had to develop medicine at that time instantly. So that involved a lot of R&D, but it was very quick. So all these things can be predicted and helped with the AI. clinical care, of course, we can see that പല കാര്യങ്ങളും ഇപ്പം ഫിസിഷ്യൻസ് അസിസ്റ്റൻ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പല കാര്യങ്ങളും ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി ഡൺ ബൈ ദ AI if it is being trained in that way. Then epidemiology and prevention of disease. സേ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ കോവിഡിൻ്റെ സമയത്ത് നമ്മളിത് ഒരുപാട് ഉപയോഗിച്ചതാണ്. നമ്മൾ ഈ എന്തായിരുന്നു ആരോഗ്യ സേതു ആപ്പ് അല്ലേ, ആരോഗ്യ സേതു ആപ്പ്, അത് നോക്കി നമുക്കറിയാം ഇവിടെ ഈ ഭാഗത്ത് എത്ര പേർക്ക് കോവിഡ് അഫക്റ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് പിന്നീട് ആദ്യം അത് ആരാണെന്നുള്ളത് വരെ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു അല്ലേ. സോ റൂട്ട് മാപ്പ്, ദിസ് യൂസ് ടു ബി ദ ടോക്ക് ഓഫ് ദ ടൗൺ ഡ്യൂറിങ് ദോസ് ഡേയ്സ്. ഐ ബിലീവ് ഓൾ ഓഫ് യു റിമെമ്പർ ദാറ്റ്. സോ ഇതെല്ലാം AI കൊണ്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് മച്ച് ഈസിയർ. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ health management systems. നമ്മൾ health management systems, say for example, if talk about records, medical records, I believe all of you know this, health records and medical records. Now all the hospitals are trying to become, or shift to EMR. What is EMR? EMR, any idea? Law students? Law students? Electronic medical records. Sometimes you even hear electronic health records. So ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽസിലെല്ലാം റെക്കോർഡ്, പണ്ടൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ഫയലായിട്ട് പോകണം അല്ലേ, ഓരോ ഡോക്ടറെ അടുത്ത് ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഓരോ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റിലെ ഫയലായിട്ട് ചെല്ലുന്നത്. നൗ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് റിക്വയർഡ്. എവറിഥിങ് ഈസ് സ്റ്റോർഡ് ആസ് ഇൻ ദ ക്ലൗഡ്. സോ ഏതൊരു മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് സിസ്റ്റവും വളരെ സ്മൂത്തായിട്ട് ഫങ്ഷൻ ചെയ്യാനും AI is very useful. Then medical AI for clinical management systems, patients manage the doctor refer each and everything will be done much easily by AI. Medical AI for hospital management system, health management പോലെ തന്നെ hospital കാര്യങ്ങൾ manage ചെയ്യാനും AI is so capable these days. Yes. Now these are basically the things that are generally done by AI and robotics. I'll come to the robotics also in the next slide. So wellness. Nowadays, you know that wellness എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് നമ്മുടെ USP. What is this wellness? Well-beingness, wellness guru ആണെന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ അഡ്വർടൈസ്മെന്റ്സ് കാണാറുണ്ട് അല്ലേ. What is this wellness that we are talking about? കുറച്ചുകൂടി ഇന്ററാക്ട് ചെയ്താൽ ഞാൻ ഉറങ്ങാതിരിക്കും, നിങ്ങൾ ഉറങ്ങാതിരിക്കും. So what do you mean by wellness? Health awareness. Right, very good. So health awareness എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിൽ എന്തെല്ലാം അതിനകത്ത് വരുന്നുണ്ട്? Eating well, sleeping well, keeping well, exercising well, all of these things are being included in that. So ഓരോ ആളുകൾക്കും അത് ഡിഫറെൻ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. This is what the health gurus generally say. Everybody's body is different, so you should have the kind of exercises that are required for your body. Personalized care. Isn't it? ഇപ്പം തടി കൂട്ടാനുള്ളവർ ചെയ്യുന്ന എക്സസൈസ് അല്ല തടി കുറയ്ക്കാനുള്ളവർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. ജിമ്മിൽ നമ്മൾ ജിം ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ടേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട് അല്ലേ, ഓരോരുത്തർക്കും ഓരോ ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് ട്രെയിനിങ് ഇസ് ബീങ് ഗിവൻ. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻറ്റ് അപ്പോൺ പേഴ്സണലൈസ്ഡ് തിങ്. Early detection, of course, as I've already mentioned, AI can detect all these diseases very quickly and early. Diagnosis, this also we have already mentioned. Decision making. See, a lot of data is available, and from the data, AI can very quickly and swiftly identify and make a decision. Then talking about treatment, what kind of treatment is to be given, what kind of medicine is to be given, these suggestions can be given by AI. Then, very dangerous proposition, that is end of life care. What do you mean by end of life care? Palliative care. Okay, end of life care. So what is it all about? That can be done very easily by AI. But there is a kind of, opposite aspect also. നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു കാര്യം AI-ക്ക് വിട്ടുകൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it can be the other way. It can be disastrous also. So end of life care and the decisions regarding end of life, that is also something that is being currently used with the help of AI. Then research and training, as I've already told you, a lot of research is happening. Biomedical research, as I told you, like any research where human beings are involved, we call it as biomedical research, wherein there also a lot of help and aid from AI improves the entire studies. Next slide, please. Now coming to medical robotics, നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പം കേൾക്കുന്ന ഒരു വാക്കാണ് റോബോട്ടിക് സർജറി, റോബോട്ടിക് നീ ട്രാൻസ്പ്ലാന്റേഷൻ സർജറി, ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ് അഡ്വർടൈസ്മെന്റ്സ് നമ്മൾ കാണാറ് അല്ലേ. So what is this robotic surgery? Their robot is doing the surgery, right? So robotics is a subset of AI. അതിൻ്റെ തന്നെ ഒരു ചെറിയ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് വരും. And it is becoming more and more involved in patient care. So see, robotic surgeries are becoming a norm these days. മിക്കവാറും ഹോസ്പിറ്റലുകൾ, all these new and established hospitals, they are going for this robotic surgeries. And there are a lot of areas where medical robotics are being applied. One is they have this focused therapy. So it's very focused. I think Mini Ma'am was talking about 44 surgeries happening in one day, isn't it? So ആ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിലൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് മോർ ഹെൽപ്ഫുൾ നമുക്ക് എ ഐയുടെ സപ്പോർട്ടോടുകൂടി ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ. സോ ഫോക്കസ് തെറപ്പി, minimally invasive surgery. I am sure this word all of you might have heard, minimally invasive surgery. നമ്മൾ പഴയ പോലെ വലിയ സ്കാറോ വലിയ കട്ടോ അങ്ങനെ ഒന്നും ഇല്ല. ഇറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് കീ ഹോൾ ആയിരുന്നു. കീ ഹോളിനും ഏറ്റവും മിനിമൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള സ്കാറും ഹീലിംഗ് പ്രോസസ്സുമാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഉള്ളത്. Then hospital optimization to emergency response. So if at all something emergency happens, that hospital should be equipped for that. For that also AI and robots can help. Then prosthesis and home sector cannot do that particular treatment or act, whatever it is. Now, here the problem is all with the use of data. As I told you, data is considered as the new gold. Okay, we need information, we need data. Data can change the entire scenario. നമ്മൾ അമേരിക്കൻ പ്രസിഡൻഷ്യൽ ഇലക്ഷൻ വരെ മാനിപ്പുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പാകത്തിനുള്ള കാര്യമാണ് ഈ ഡേറ്റ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഡേറ്റ ക്യാൻ മാനിപ്പുലേറ്റ് ഇൻ എനി വേസ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇഫ് സംബഡീസ് ഡേറ്റ ഈസ് ബീങ് യൂസ്ഡ്, ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി യൂസ്ഡ് ഓൺലി വിത്ത് ദി consent. So in artificial intelligence, when the algorithms are learning and they are improving by themselves, definitely there is a question of consent, whether the patients have consented to that or it's just as a routine they are using it. Okay, simple, I'll give you example. We are searching for a high design handbag. Okay, ഒരു ഹാൻഡ് ബാഗ് ബ്രാൻഡ് നമ്മൾ ആമസോണിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫ്ലിപ്കാർട്ടിലോ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും സെർച്ച് ചെയ്തു എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കാം. എല്ലാം ഭയങ്കര പൈസ കൂടുതലാണ്, നമ്മൾ വാങ്ങിയില്ല. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈം വെൻ യു ഓപ്പൺ ദ മൊബൈൽ ഓർ ലാപ്ടോപ്പ്, വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് പോപ്പിംഗ് അപ്പ്? വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദാറ്റ്? You will see hundreds of ads, either high design or similar brands. Price drop alert will come. What are they doing? The search data, they have it with them so that they can impress us in some other way and they will make us buy that. So we are talking casually, വീട്ടിലിങ്ങനെ സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നാളെ നമുക്ക് ചിക്കൻ ബിരിയാണി ഉണ്ടാക്കാം എന്നൊരു സംസാരം ഉണ്ടായി. Next time when you open your YouTube, you will get alerts for sure about different recipes of chicken biryani. So your voice is being captured. So everything that you speak, everything that you do, everything that you search, everywhere you go, you will get the alert. This is the map that every 3 months Google Maps will send you. Ningala mail verum, otherwise you will have to close that location bar, isn't it? So data is being taken without our knowledge for each and every aspect. As long as we are carrying a mobile phone with the internet facility, your data is being captured. You have checked in this particular airport, you have used your credit card in that particular hotel, each and everything has been captured. So data is very, very important, and data breaches are not a new thing. Okay, very examples namukku varayam. Domino's Pizza, I think it was in 2020. The entire data from Domino's Pizza was being taken. Entire data from Air India has been taken. Okay, so എയർ ഇന്ത്യയിലുള്ള ഡേറ്റ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരാളുടെ പേരുണ്ടാവും, അയാളുടെ ജെൻഡർ ഉണ്ടാവും, അയാളുടെ പേഴ്സണൽ മൊബൈൽ നമ്പർ ഉണ്ടാവും, ദെയർ വാട്ട് യു സേ ഇമെയിൽ അഡ്രസ് ഉണ്ടാവും, ലൊക്കേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും. ഈച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവറിഥിങ് ക്യാൻ ബി ടേക്കൺ. സോ ദേ ക്യാൻ യൂസ് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് മാനിപ്പുലേറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഫോർ multiple ways. So data is very, very important and consent is required in such cases. Relationship between patients and doctors. So there is a one-to-one relationship that used to exist between the patients and doctors. നമ്മൾ പണ്ടൊക്കെ പറയുമായിരുന്നു ദൈവത്തെ പോലെയാണ് ഡോക്ടർ, അല്ലേ? അത്രയും ഒരു ഫിഡ്യൂഷ്യറി റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് ആയിരുന്നു പേഷ്യൻ്റ് ഡോക്ടർ റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് നോ ഹൗ ഫാർ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ആപ്ലിക്കബിൾ ഈവൻ നൗ. So we don't trust anyone. That's not just with the doctor-patient relationship. It is with every profession. But still, in cases of patients and doctors, it has become so evident. Okay. So, doctors mari AI vannu kayinjalla avastha endayirikkum. So AI will take care of each and everything where doctor is out. Patient doesn't have any kind of option there. So those are also other important ethical considerations. Patient privacy and security, which I've been talking about. Data privacy, which I've already mentioned also very clearly. And data breaches. Data breaches are also happening in the recent, I think it was in 2023 or 2022, I'm not very sure. From one lab in Mumbai, the entire data has been, it was a network, okay, like DRC and all, such a network. They got that data breached of all the patients. നമ്മൾ ഒരു ലാബിൽ പോയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്തെല്ലാം തരത്തിലുള്ള ബ്ലഡ് ടെസ്റ്റും കാര്യങ്ങളും ചിലപ്പോൾ നടത്തുന്നുണ്ടാവും അല്ലേ, എന്തെല്ലാം തരത്തിലുള്ള സ്കാനിങ് നടത്തുന്നുണ്ടാവും. സോ ഓൾ ദ ഡേറ്റ ഹാസ് ബീൻ ബ്രീച്ച്ഡ്. That has been taken by insurance companies or whatever. I mean, പല ആളുകൾക്കായിരിക്കും അതുകൊണ്ട് ആവശ്യം അല്ലേ. ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് ഫാർമസ്യൂട്ടിക്കൽ കമ്പനീസിനായിരിക്കും ആവശ്യം, ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽസിനായിരിക്കും ആവശ്യം, ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇൻഷുറൻസ് കമ്പനീസിനായിരിക്കും ആവശ്യം. Anybody can have access to that, which is creating a lot of problem in that way. Efficacy of AI in patient safety. And yes, of course, technologies should adhere to the standards. Manushyar tettu pattunna pole thanne AI can also go wrong sometimes, isn't it? So patient care should be the first and foremost thing which has to be taken care here also. Questions related to liability. This I was referring to earlier also. Aarkanu thinte liability? AI ne create cheyda aalkano ado AI എന്താ പറയുക മാർക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്തവർക്കാണോ അതോ AI പ്രൊക്യൂർ ചെയ്തവർക്കാണോ AI use ചെയ്തവർക്കാണോ? Who has liability and to what extent they have? So such kind of questions are also very impactful here. Joint liability വരുമോ? എവിടെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് അത്? എനിക്കറിയില്ല. I don't know because there is no law as far as I understand. So this is the problem. This is where the law students will have to ponder upon this. We don't have any such laws as of now. Very few cases here and there across the country you can see. Apart from that, no, nothing. And yeah, I'll come to that also. Algorithmic fairness and biases. See, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു നേരത്തെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഡേറ്റ എന്താണോ അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള റിപ്പോർട്ടാണ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി വെരി ബയസ്ഡ് ഓൾസോ. സേ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ദീസ് ബയസ്നെസ് can be seen sometimes in relation to a particular group, particular community, particular section, people with particular sexual orientation. All of these people can be, kept aside. അപ്പോൾ ഏത് തരത്തിലുള്ള ഡേറ്റ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വേണമെന്ന് ഉണ്ടോ അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഇൻഫർമേഷനാണ് നമ്മൾ AI-ക്ക് ഫീഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സംടൈംസ് യെസ് എക്സാക്ട്ലി. So, but I'm not telling completely, but whatever data we are giving, as a person, if I have some personal biases and I'm the person who is using AI, definitely എൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു ബയസ് ഞാൻ കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഡേറ്റയിൽ ഉണ്ടാവും. അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള റിപ്പോർട്ട് മാത്രമേ AI തിരിച്ചു തരുന്നുള്ളൂ. So that is very important for us to understand that it should be free from biasness and it should be fair data. Then, safeguarding the health information. Again, coming back to the square one, health data is very important. I'm not talking about the medical data. I'm talking about the health data as such. Most of you might be using this wearable, smart watches. Ille? നിങ്ങൾ എത്ര സ്റ്റെപ്സ് വാക്ക് ചെയ്തു, എത്ര സ്റ്റെപ്സ് എത്ര കാലറി ബേൺ ചെയ്തു, ഈച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവറിഥിങ് ഈസ് ബീങ് ഗിവൺ ബൈ സ്മാർട്ട് വാച്ചസ്. ഹൗ ഷുവർ യു ആർ യുവർ ഡേറ്റ ഇസ് നോട്ട് ബീങ് ഗിവൺ ടു എനിവൺ എൽസ്? It can be taken by anyone. Apple itself issued a concern that we are not very sure. So that means the wearing wearables that watches and all these things that you are using, the data is being taken. Ningal heartbeat etraya, pulse etraya, ningal orangunna samaya etraya, udarnirikkunna samaya etraya, each and everything has been taken. Dr. Simi, I am talking again and again about right to privacy. Right. So very good. So autonomous systems making decisions regarding end of life matters. Okay. this is end of life matter. I mean, end of life decisions are very, very crucial. As you know, നമ്മൾ പലപ്പോഴും യുത്തനേഷ്യ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫിസിഷ്യൻ അസിസ്റ്റഡ് സൂയിസൈഡ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ ഒരുപാട് ഡിസ്കഷൻസ് നടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഏരിയ ആണ് end of life decisions. I'm sure you might have read all the cases starting from Piratnam, Gyankor, Pineda, Nikhil Soni, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ common cause. Yes, towards the end we have common cause judgment. I hope all of you know about living wills. Living wills കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? Advanced medical directives. We call it as advanced medical directives. ഞാൻ നല്ല ബോധത്തോടെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ I can write down what is that I wish to when I am in a situation when I cannot give consent. എനിക്ക് അപ്പോൾ സംസാരിക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു തീരുമാനം എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ വരുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ ബോഡി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്നെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളത് I can write and register it, which we call in general parlance as living wills, which has been recognized by Common Cause versus Union of India in 2018, which was again revised in 2023 Jan by 5-judge bench. Okay, so we have a lot of judgments also regarding this end of life decisions. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ വേറൊരു സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കൺസേൺ ആണ്, വിച്ച് ഐ എം ഓൾസോ എ ലിറ്റിൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റഡ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ റീസൺ വൈ ഐ ടെൽ ബ്രെയിൻ സ്റ്റെം ഡെത്ത് സർട്ടിഫിക്കേഷൻ. I hope you have heard of this term. Transplantation of Human Organs Act ന്റെ അകത്ത് പറയുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് brain stem death. What is brain stem death? How brain stem death certification is done? Okay, so a lot of decisions comes in whenever we talk about end of life. Beginning of life is also controversial. End of life is also controversial. It is a matter of science, law, ethics, religion. In both the ways. Let it be beginning of life, abortion, and the three debates. അല്ലേ, അബോർഷനെ കുറിച്ച് ഇത്രയും ഡിബേറ്റ്സ് വരാനുള്ള കാര്യം അവിടെ ഹ്യൂമൻ റൈറ്റ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, അവിടെ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ 21 വരുമെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ആലോചിക്കും. A lot of questions are there. In the same way, end of life decisions also is a very crucial thing. So if we give such kind of, authority to AI will see, okay, this person, whether he is, entitled to live or not, they can decide. I mean, it can decide. I cannot use the word they. Yes, next slide, please. Yeah. This is one particular slide you can see where ethical considerations, AI in biomedical research. As I told you, he was rightly pointing out, ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, they came up with a regular guidelines in the year 2023, very recently, 2023 August, one guidelines under. അതിനകത്ത് ethical principles that are applicable for medical AI. They have given this particular chart where you can see optimization and data quality, accessibility and equality, risk minimization and safety, collaboration, autonomy, data privacy, accountability and liability, trustworthiness, that is data security and trustworthiness, validity, non-discrimination and fairness. പല കാര്യങ്ങളും അവരെയും പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ പറയുന്ന നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പം ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്ത കാര്യങ്ങൾ തന്നെയാണ് മോസ്റ്റ്ലി. But whenever a person is subjected to any kind of biomedical research where AI is involved, ICMR says that you will have to look into all these aspects. I'm not going into the details of that because we have only this particular document and that was released last year. അതിനകത്ത് ഈ പറയുന്ന ഓരോ പോയിന്റും വളരെ elaborate ആയിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. Those who are interested in biomedical research and AI, you can refer to this particular document also. Next slide, please. Yeah, coming to accountability and liability, I have already discussed that also. In healthcare, accountability is crucial when something goes wrong. If everything is okay, no problem. You know that a lot of medical negligence cases comes up these days. Doctor was referring to one case where instead of one particular hand, the other hand was operated. കുറച്ച് ദിവസമായാലും കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരു ഇഷ്യൂ നടന്നിട്ട് കൈവിരലിന് പകരം നാവ് സർജറി ചെയ്ത ഇൻസ്റ്റൻസ് ഓൾസോ ഹാപ്പൻഡ് ഇൻ കേരള, isn't it? Yes, in Calicut. So, as long as things are good, no problem. When something goes wrong, who is liability? Doctor kano liability? Nurse nano liability? Anesthetist nano liability? Hospital nano liability? A lot of questions comes, isn't it? Medical negligence. Can you just guess how many medical negligence allegations happens in India over a period of 1 year? Just a guess. ഒരു വർഷം ഇന്ത്യയിലെ കണക്കെടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ആവറേജ് എത്ര, ആവറേജ് എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ഒരു വർഷത്തെ മാത്രം സ്റ്റഡിയാണ് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്, എത്ര മെഡിക്കൽ നെഗ്ലിജൻസ് അലിഗേഷൻസ് നടക്കുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് ഒരു ഗസ് പറയാമോ? എനിവൺ പ്ലീസ്, എനി റഫ് ഫിഗർ യു ക്യാൻ സേ. para? 20,000. 2,000. Anyone else? The study published in 2023 and the study period is 2022. It is 5.2 million cases. 5.2 million allegations. I'm not telling it is proved or disproved, but 5.2 million is a number. So you can imagine the amount of medical negligence instances that are happening in the country India. So negligence is very important. So liability, fixing the liability is also very important. We have numerous laws, but even then, the problem that I have seen is doctors are not aware of what law is there and what is that they are supposed to do. Okay. Now, coming back to AI, again the same problem. If there is a law, who should be knowing about it? And who should have the liability? That also has to be known by the doctors or people who are using it. Secondly, should it be the developers of AI software, the healthcare providers who are using it, or the institutions that deploy it? Arkani liability. അവിടെ ആരോ പറഞ്ഞു അത് ജോയിന്റ് ലയബിലിറ്റി ആയിരിക്കണമെന്ന്. ആര് പറഞ്ഞു ജോയിന്റ് ആയിരിക്കണമെന്ന്? Do we have such a law? As of now, we don't have anything in place. Okay, so we are in the nascent stage, and that is the importance of these kind of courses where we deliberate upon these, and we can have policy frameworks or proposals in this regard. The use of AI raises questions about who is responsible when the system fails. That is what I already told. When everything is going on smooth, no problem, AI is super. But if something goes wrong, then people start thinking, what is the problem and whom should be blamed? As I told you, in Korea, when the AI robot committed suicide, they started thinking, what is this? All of a sudden, we are hearing about an AI or robot committing suicide. What are the reasons for that? Okay, so when something goes wrong, it happens. Laws are needed to clearly define liability in cases of medical malpractice involving AI, ensuring patients have recourse if they are harmed. Doctor AI. Hospital AI. Simple aile. So the patient should have a clear understanding whom should be made liable. Liability should be fixed in this case. But, obviously, we don't have anything as of now. Yes, next slide, please. Data privacy and security. AI systems in healthcare, they rely on vast amount of patient data to function effectively, raising concerns about privacy and data security. So, ellam data porthulla oru kaliyana ivida. Ellam endu data avarku accessible aanu. Adu vechittana they improve and program their algorithms. So, legal frameworks are necessary to ensure patient data is handled ethically and securely. But as of now, we have this Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP, but that came last year, only 2023, after a long, so many years. But health data, health records, pare bill kore karyangalokke discuss cheyidirundengilum finally vannappo adindedaya oru seriousness ode we can't find anything in that. Yes, next slide, please. Now, coming to international legal framework, we have this European Union General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. So, 2018, European Union lana ee oru particular law kondu vandirikkunna, and now everybody is finding it to be the most, promising. So, we try to follow that. Singapore, they have the National Electronic Health Record System, which was in place since 2011. US, we have the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability, HIPAA, that is in 1996. And we also tried in 2018, Digital Information Security in Healthcare Act, DISHA. So these are the, traces here and there where you can see that, yes, the legal systems have taken note of such a thing, and we are trying to improve, or we are trying to ponder upon what is to be done in this regard. Next slide, please. Now, what is the role of judiciary? Of course, judiciary has to play a big role. Judiciary may have to ascertain, if inge oru case vannu kazhinjal, iduvare vannittilla, vannittunnengil engane idu handle cheyum, whose responsibility it is? Questions related to liability and accountability, professional negligence, role of manufacturer, role of hospital management, then again questions related to confidentiality, privacy. All these questions will be, faced by the judiciary in the coming years. Then we will be seeing it very soon. Next slide, please. This is one simple case that I could come across. It was in 2017, decision by Washington Supreme Court. Here, what happened is this doctor, who was a very good surgeon, he generally does his surgery himself, and then they procured this robot where the surgery was done proctored surgery. What do you mean by proctored surgery? Doctor is monitoring, and doctor is supervising that surgery. So doctor did 2 proctored surgery, and the 3rd surgery doctor left it to the AI itself, which resulted in injury to the plaintiff or patient, and ultimately it ended up in the death of the patient. So this was one of its kind where all these kind of questions were being discussed in this case, and according to the court, the intermediary did not absolve the manufacturer of its obligation to tell the hospital about the dangers associated with the product. Say, for example, it was manufactured by one company, which was marketed by another company, which was procured by another hospital, which was used by a different doctor. Understand? So there are so many people who are involved in that. So who should have that kind of responsibility, and what is the limit of that responsibility? Such questions were being discussed in this particular case. But still, this is one beginning point if those who are interested in doing further research in this. Next slide, please. Indian legal framework, we just have very vague kind of things. We have this artificial intelligence portal, which was inaugurated in 2020, national portal, India AI. Okay, so we are also trying, and they keep on advising the government what is to be done in relation to framing laws and policies on AI. Next slide. Now, advantages of AI in healthcare. We have, I was talking about the consumer wearables, like watches, smart watches, etc. All these things are so common these days. Namkaduru smart watch but the data that they are taking, we don't know actually. നമ്മൾ എന്തിനൊക്കെ പെർമിഷൻ കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, നമ്മൾ ആപ്സ് തന്നെ എത്രത്തോളം ആപ്സിനാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്തെല്ലാം പെർമിഷനാണ് കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഫോണിൽ, isn't it? So it's like, most of the things are going out of our hand without we ourselves knowing it. So other medical devices combined with AI is also being applied to oversee early stage heart disease. Okay, they can find out all these block enabling doctors and other caregivers to better monitor and detect potentially life-threatening episodes at earlier, more treatable stages. പല കാര്യങ്ങളും നേരത്തെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാനായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സംവിധാനം ഉണ്ട് with all these kind of technology and AI assisted tools. Using pattern recognition to identify patients at risk of developing a condition or seeing it deteriorate due to lifestyle, environmental, genomic or other factors is another area where AI is beginning to take hold in this care. So AI will understand what is the environment in which you are living, what is your hereditary characteristics, okay, what is your lifestyle, how much exercise you are doing every day. All of these things will be looked into by AI. How? With our data, isn't it? And AI will inform us, okay, you may get so and so kind of, disease in the future, so you be better cautious about it. You do all the screening tests that are required for this. AI systems are dynamic and autonomous, learning and adapting as more data become available. As I told you, data, whatever data it is being provided to them or they receive it, they can give that kind of information back. Yes. Now, a lot of advantages, as I've already told, AI systems have the potential to anticipate problems or deal with issues as they come up. Secondly, they operate in an intentional, intelligent, and adaptive manner. It develops on its own. It progresses on its own, taking the data. AI systems could translate a patient's entire medical record into a likely diagnosis. So the moment you enter a hospital, say for example 2015 onwards, you are going to the same hospital. You may be meeting different doctors in different departments, okay? But the hospital will be having the entire data for last 10 years. Isn't it? Your health data is there with the hospital, collected through different doctors, different departments, and AI can help in, assessing all these data together within no time. Machine learning refers to the study of algorithms that allow computer programs to automatically improve through experience. അപ്പോൾ ഇനി വർഷങ്ങൾ കടന്നു പോകും തോറും എത്രത്തോളം ഡേറ്റ ഇൻപുട്ട് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നറിഞ്ഞ് AI is going to improve, AI is going to develop in this way. Yes. Now, it is not free from challenges, as you know, advantages ഒരുപാടുണ്ട്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ disadvantages ഉണ്ട്. Need for a suitable certification process and the absence of a regulating authority for AI in healthcare. നമുക്കറിയാം ഒരു പുതിയ മെഡിസിൻ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, okay, clinical drug trials, we know. There are stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. We have clear-cut guidelines. We have drugs and Cosmetics Act, we have the rules, we have the new devices rules. Each and everything is in place. Moreover, we have ICMR guidelines. ഇതെല്ലാം നമുക്കുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, ഒരു പുതിയൊരു മരുന്ന് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പുതിയൊരു ഡിവൈസ്, മെഡിക്കൽ ഡിവൈസ് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ we have a clear-cut law. But we don't have such a kind of clear-cut law in regard to this artificial intelligence. Can we just treat it as a medical device? That is one question that is being pondered upon by the legal authorities. Then the regulatory approvals for AI must be based on clinical trial data and evidence-based enhancement in clinical outcomes. So, മറ്റ് മരുന്നുകളിലൊക്കെ ക്ലിനിക്കൽ ട്രയൽ നടത്തുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കണം AI-യുടെ ആ ഒരു എന്താ പറയുക എഫിഷ്യൻസിയും നമ്മൾ അസസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. Ensuring trust between patients and medical professionals. Definitely, that is something which we'll have to work upon. The legal system will have to take note of in order to ensure the trust between patients and medical professionals. In rural areas, of course, we know that India is a huge country where we think that everybody can have access to telemedicine. Everybody has digital devices, internet connectivity. No, it is not like that. I myself had students who had to, travel 2 to 3 kilometers and sit in some places during COVID, I'm telling. Okay, 2-3 kilometers to just get the network in order to attend the classes. So India എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ കേരളത്തിൽ കാണുന്ന ഒരു സംഭവമായിട്ടേ വിചാരിക്കരുത്. It is entirely different when you move towards the North India. Now, that is also a big problem. In rural areas, the frontline healthcare providers can lack skills, experience or self-assurance needed to interpret and question AI-generated outcomes. So that is also something, that means training is very, very important in that regard. Numerous factors can make a system vulnerable to cyber attacks, such as lack of knowledge and training among medical professionals. Let me tell you one thing, most of the medical, ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു 5.2 million കേസസിൻ്റെ കാര്യം, ഇതെല്ലാം നടക്കുന്നത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? ഡോക്ടേഴ്സിന് അറിവില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണോ? അല്ല, ഡോക്ടേഴ്സിന് നിയമം അറിയാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. Maybe ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ നെഗ്ലിജൻസ് ഉണ്ടാവാം. But most of the cases, I would say that it is because doctors doesn't know what they are supposed to be done by the law. Law has a clear cut, okay, this is what you are supposed to do, but the doctors are not aware of that. That is the reason. So here, that is also very important for us to understand. Now, what is the way forward? The data utilized to train AI-based medical devices must be comprehensive and representative of all relevant events and populations. As I told you, data biases, it should not be there. There should be fairness, that is very important to ensure. Manufacturers must record the data utilized for training, construction, testing, and validating the AI-based medical devices. So just like the clinical trial processes, we should have a clear-cut system that is in place, which should be, provided by the law in order to, make it ready. Manufacturers should demonstrate that AI-based medical devices system is resilient, accurate, and capable of correcting errors and inconsistencies. നമ്മൾ പുതിയതായിട്ട് ഇത് പഠിക്കുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ തെറ്റുകൾ വന്നാൽ അത് കറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാനും കൂടെയുള്ള മെക്കാനിസം അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് തന്നെ വരണം. Then it will be much better in that way. Ensure that AI-based medical device system is adequately overseen by humans. See, one thing is very clear. Don't expect that AI will take care of everything. That is not going to happen. It requires human beings to supervise, monitor, and ensure that the systems are accountable, equitable, and transparent. Whatever system that we are using in the name of AI, it should be equitably accessible, it should be transparent, and the accountability should also be fixed. I think that was the last slide. As with the new medical technology, regulatory approvals for AI must be based on clinical trial data, which I have already told you, and it should be evidence-based enhancements. See, evidence-based medicine is a very, very important aspect. So similarly here also it should be all evidence-based. And AI has the potential to change healthcare by producing new and essential insights from the vast amount of digital data created during healthcare delivery. Definitely it is going to improve, that I've already mentioned. And in this regard, EU Commission report on AI ethics, they have suggested certain regulatory requirements, which I found to be very useful if you think from the Indian perspective also. Firstly, human agency oversight. It should not be unattended. It should be with the supervision of human beings or doctors or technicians. Technical robustness and safety, privacy and data governance, transparency, diversity, non-discrimination, and fairness. So it should be from diverse populations. There should not be any kind of discrimination that is likely to happen in this case. Then environmental and social well-being, and finally accountability. So this is taken from EU Commission's report, and the same is applicable everywhere. It's not just for the European Union. I think that is it. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer.
Shin,
Please, sir.
I'm just trying to share my anxiety because this is particularly new field for all of us.
Yes.
Right? Madam, you had a slide of integration of AI.
Yes.
Right? And in there, there was a point called diagnosis. Diagnosis.
Diagnosis,
yeah?
yes.
And in the next slide came the robotics also.
Yes.
So when it comes to diagnostics, we will be referring to AI as a software, right?
Exactly.
Right. And when it goes to that robotics part,
Yes.
you will
Hardware.
be integrating AI into the that mechatronics, means robots.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So when it is a software, it will be a kind of product, right? And in the other side, it will be like assisting a doctor, means it will be kind of service over there.
Exactly.
So as a law student and the basic understanding, I need to understand that when it comes to AI, in this kind of scenario, what kind of entity can we provide so that the law can be framed on that basis? Because is it a product, is it a service, or is it a separate entity as such? Because when it comes to this AI in an advanced stage, as you said, it can generate its own things. So maybe it will be getting into a different entity level in that part. So how should I
If I may answer, or I try to just throw an insight on this, I would like to take you to the basics of the jurisprudence that we have studied, we all have studied. So in jurisprudence, we know that there are only two concepts, or in law as a whole, there are only two concepts. Can anybody tell what are those two concepts that I am referring to? One is a person, the other is property. So if you take the entire law, you can see that there are only two concepts that the entire system of law works on. One is person. It talks about the interrelationship between person to thing, and second is, it is all about property. So we have this tendency of putting it either into the person concept or the property concept, right? There are certain things that you cannot put it in, it won't fit in either person or property. I'll give you a few examples. One example would be intellectual property. Another example would be animals. A lot of discussions are going on across the country and across other countries also, whether animals can be treated as personhood of animals. We even decided that Ganga and Yamuna, all these holy rivers, should be given
property,
the status of personhood. It should be given person. It should be considered as person. There are High Court judgments which said that the birds should be considered as persons.
But madam, if I'm going wrong, please correct me on that part. This water or the Ganges, it has been considered as a product in NTPC versus state of Andhra Pradesh. They had considered, this judge has considered this as a product over there.
Yes.
Not as a person.
That's what I'm trying to say, sir. Ganges and Yamuna, they are considered as natural persons in 2017 Uttarakhand decision. So these kind of questions are happening, and it is much more vigorously happening in Western countries, where Spain, France, all these countries have completely altered their civil code. Their constitutions have been changed, where animals have been considered as sentient persons. with all kind of emotions, just like human beings. So this kind of trend is happening. Okay, so we have this tendency, in order to mention this only, I was referring to that example, we have this tendency of putting it either in the concept of person or under the concept of property. But there are certain things. Okay, a dead human body, can it be considered as a property or a person? A frozen embryo. A frozen embryo that is kept in any of these hospitals or the sperm banks or clinics where it is being preserved. Can it be considered as a property or person? It is a future person, future human being. So a lot of discussions and deliberations are going on this subject. If there is, it is in a fluidic stage, I would say. You cannot completely call it as a person. You cannot completely call it as a property. It is somewhere in between. There are certain judgments where you can say they even use the term quasi-property. Something in between. So, as long as it is going on, we don't have any problem. But if at all a problem comes and it approaches a bench in a court, then the judge will have to give an answer. Judge cannot say that I don't know.
Correct, correct.
A judicial officer sitting on the dais will have to give a judgment. Either it is property, or it is person, or it is something in between. Say, for example, 50% property, 50%, whatever rationale he can find, he will have to find it and give a solution for that problem. So, as long as it is, as it stands today, I don't find that where it fits, we don't have a clear-cut answer. We don't have a legislation in that regard. I have not seen any kind of, particular judgments also. Maybe there may be, maybe I am unaware of it. As of now, I could not find any of these.
So we are really in a very high risk stage now.
Exactly,
as of now, right?
Exactly. We don't know what is going to happen. If something goes wrong, what is going to happen? Then it can be decided only by as long as law is not there, definitely it will have to be decided by the judicial officers. Isn't it? When it comes, the matter comes before them.
So why don't we incorporate that what is there in the EU regulations now? Because in 2024, this year itself, 2024, May they had passed their regulations.
Sir, actually,
so why can't we at least to start with somewhere?
That's what
because we are putting entire country in a risk.
I understand. See, one important aspect that I have seen is science and technology and its interrelation with law. Science and technology, it moves like lightning speed. And law is like, we'll have to wait for the next session in the parliament, bill, the draft, then sending it for public opinion. It takes years. By the time the technology has changed already. Okay, one simple example I'll tell you. There is one technology, gene editing technology known as CRISPR-Cas9 technology. Okay, people have started thinking about it, discussing about it in the early 2010, 11 and all. Okay, and many countries have started thinking about whether we should, regulate it, because with that particular technology, you can make any changes to human genes, human or animal also. Say, for example, you can make an elephant with zebra lines. You can make a human being with any kind of, your imagination. So that is possible with this technology, and this technology is so far unregulated. And in 2018, one Chinese scientist, he made 2 kids applying this technology, and he is just publishing it in one international science conference where he is telling that, yes, I have already created 2 kids using this CRISPR-Cas gene technology, gene editing technology. What the law can do now? Chinese government put him in jail, rigorous imprisonment for 3 years. The moment he was released, he gave another, what is it called? Media press release where he said, I'll do it again. After 3 years of rigorous imprisonment, he is going to do it again. He created 3 babies. 2018, 2 babies. 2019, 2 babies. 2020, he was being arrested. He was released in 2023 and he said this, I will do. As long as there is no law, what can be done? So law is very slow in this regard. Science and technology is moving so fast and so ahead, And let me tell you one thing, this may be my last point. As law students, This is just for the law students. Please excuse me. As law students, we have this habit of, thinking that I am not good in science, I am not good in maths. I did not get entrance for engineering, I did not get entrance for medical schools. So that is why I ended up in government law college or whichever law school I am studying in. This is our general understanding. I am a person who ran away from science and maths because I could not handle that. But later, I realized that, see, law and the traditional aspect of, law is going to change. It is, right now it may be, we are focused only about the property dispute, this dispute, land acquisition, all these things. But in the near future, it is not going to be the same. It is going to change for sure. Because technology is moving in that speed, where we are thinking of buying property in moon. We are thinking of going for, what is it, tourism in space. We are going underground, water. So the traditional concept of property, traditional land disputes, everything is changing. So if we just stick on to all those traditional concepts, I don't know, the future, it may be very, very difficult. So you should have that kind of open-mindedness, think that it's not just, I should be as much as possible away from all these science and technology and all these things. Just give that thought away from your head. That is the best thing. Yes, sir, you have some question.
No, Madam, just because we lost a lot of space to bring in cyber laws. So it was an unethical haven. India was an unethical haven for people who are smarter.
Right.
And same thing may happen with AI also.
Definitely. It is, I would say it is an extension of cyber,
So right now many people will be thinking of how to use the Indian space, probably.
Cyberspace. Yes, of course, yes. Because there is no regulation as of now. You remember the surrogacy? Surrogacy, India was the most sought for destination for surrogacy. People will come from any part of the country because we did not have a law till 2021 December. So we gave the services. Anand is considered as the hub of surrogacy, where all the surrogacy was taking place in India. It was like, crores of crores rupees that was involved in that. So definitely legal framework should be strengthened as the technology changes. So, yeah.
What legal and ethical framework should govern the rights and ownership of cryonically preserved individuals, particularly regarding their ascent, identity, and consent, if future technology allows their revival? And other question is, as AI advances in medical research and the potential revival of cryonically preserved individuals become conceivable, what legal frameworks should govern the issue of personhood, rights, and inheritance for the individual who are revived after long-term cryonic suspension?
Such a complicated question, let me tell you. You are talking about people who preserve themselves after death. I am more concerned about the embryos that are already in the labs or the, cold storage, I would like to use a word. Only one study I have come across, that was by Rand in 1997, okay, wherein they said that in US alone, in 1997, just imagine how many years ago I am talking about, in 1997 there were 4 million embryos cryopreserved inside the labs. So can you just imagine the amount or number of unborn human beings that are preserved across the globe? That is already there in existence. We don't have a law with regard to that. So the other, in cryonics and all that, science and technology is just marching towards that. They are just trying to do that. But this is already there. But still, after so many years, we don't have a legal regulation in this regard.
So like
cloning.
Yeah, actually I came across a study that was conducted by Dr. Craig Venter. So he was like, okay, he created kind of cell division or something like in the lab itself.
Right.
So it was like a huge leap towards this technology, because reviving of like it's the ultimate thing that we can do as a human being, that reviving someone from death.
It's not reviving.
it's
you're
a-
talking about cloning, or you're talking
No,
about
actually, I was just talking about the studies of the Dr. Craig Venter. So
Right.
what I was just trying to say is like, okay, like if you're talking about embryo, actually, it's not even born, but at the same time, okay, the same status should be given. Like if someone has died, I mean, like, and like the regulations and everything. Like if you want to clone a human being, okay, technically that's possible, but at the same time, law, actually the international regulations, they are not permitting that too. So don't you think that's
for
a hindrance
everyone's
to?
understanding, cloning is prohibited. Human reproductive cloning is prohibited across the world. No country permits that. So that part we are very clear about it. Human reproductive cloning is completely banned across the world. But regarding cryonics also, definitely the science and technology is trying, especially that people who have money and the weird thoughts, they are just trying to preserve their body for next 100 years. I don't know for what, but still this is also a possibility. And let me tell you, those science fictions that we read 20 years ago, 25 years ago has become a reality today. So it's not necessary that it will not happen, it may happen also. So as and when it happens, law should be, and that is the reason why I was telling that the law students or the future judges, future lawmakers, policy makers, they should also be aware of what is happening in the world of science and technology. So so far we don't have any kind of law with regard to cryonics also, but yes, if it is a possibility, definitely we'll have to ponder upon the possibilities in this regard. And thanks for that good question. I think I should stop now. Thank you so much for being such wonderful, patient listeners. Thank you.